I'm out of the etrailer. If you have a 2024 Jeep Grand Wagoneer L and you're looking for a set of chains that are going to help you get a little bit more traction when you're driving in those snowy conditions, or you want something just to make sure you're legal in whatever state you're in, then the Glacier Chain Tire Chains are going to be a great option for you. Now this will be a rolling style, and we're going to have this on our tire size 275, 55, R20. Now they will fit a range of different sizes. That's just the size we have today. And if you're unsure this is going to fit your vehicle, you can actually put in your vehicle's information into our fit guide to find the right one for you. We're also going to have this on our rear axle, is what the manual recommends. And we actually have our vehicle lowered down completely because you can raise and lower the Grand Wagoneer. I just wanted to really showcase that, just to show that these chains will still work in these more limited clearance situations. Now we can take a closer look at the specs. Earlier when I said these are roller link styles, what a roller link style really is just more of this rounded piece of metal that wraps around your cables. And this usually provides more of a smooth ride, maybe not as much traction as some other options out there, but they feel a little more comfortable. And something else that's going to help aid in that is going to be the construction. So they're going to be made from a low carbon steel, which is also going to be a softer metal, so it kind of improves your ride quality. And on top of that, they're going to be Class S, so they're not going to be very big, bulky chains. And that's good for another reason, because it's not going to really impede or make contact with anything behind your tire, like your suspension. And they're going to be a ladder style. And what a ladder style does for you is it gives you more traction when you're stopping and you're starting when you're driving in those snowy conditions. Now when we look down here at the bottom, you're going to notice we have this lever here, which is a little bit different from some other styles around. And what's great about having a lever on here is it's going to help take out a lot of slack that remains in your chains. While that lever is good, I do recommend using a rubber tensioner still. Really, with any type of chain like that, these will come in handy, because when you're driving down the road, what can happen is your chains can shift, and typically when they shift, they loosen up. So what this is going to do is just constantly apply tension to your chains when you're driving down the road, giving you a little bit more peace of mind. Now this will not come with your kit. You can actually find these on our website if you do need any. Now what will come with your kit are going to be 2 sets of chains. And they're going to come in this more light duty bag. That's okay, they won't tear it up because these are some pretty light duty chains. My biggest thing though with this is sometimes it can be kind of tricky to get back in the bag, since they are kind of springy, and a lot of times I have any snow, dirt, mud, gravel that can also kind of impede that process. So if that is an issue for you, I'd recommend just investing in a small tote to keep your chains in. Now in my opinion, I think this is a solid choice to go for if you're just in those more light duty situations. But if you need a little more traction and you want something a bit easier to install, then I'd recommend the Titan Chain Assisted Tensioning Tire Chains. Because what's really nice is you don't have to get underneath your vehicle, you can put it all on from the front of it, and it's going to have a built-in rubber tensioner to keep things nice and snug. Now one downside is it will be a little bit more premium, so just weighing your options, and it's really more something if you're constantly facing snow a lot of times, or you really plan on driving through some deeper snow. These are more for light duty conditions. So if that really is you, then I'd honestly just go with these. Now if you are curious to see what that installation looks like, just stay tuned. We'll walk you through the process. To begin the installation, I'm going to grab some gloves just to make this a little bit easier and lay out my chains. Now when you're checking over your chains, there's a few things you want to look for, and that's going to be for any damages and the right orientation. So when I'm looking at these links, I'm just making sure that there's no damages to the metal itself, like any dents, anything around that nature. And for the orientation, we're going to have some hooks where they make contact with the cable. We want to make sure those hooks are facing up so they're away from the tire. And we want to make sure that this lever is on the outside, furthest away from your tire, so it's a little bit easier to access. And from here, we can start draping it over. So the way I like to do that is kind of grab it from the center and just place it up here. And from there, we're just going to try to make sure we put everything in place where it's going to be a little bit easier so we can make our connections. And speaking of those connections, we're going to start doing that on the back side because it's a little bit more tricky to do that here. When we're doing this, we want to make sure we grab our side with that channel, and we're going to just push these blocks through that opening. Now this might take you a few attempts because it is a little bit tighter here. Now we have our vehicle in that lowest position like I was saying earlier. If you want this a little bit easier, you could raise it up. But if you can't, for whatever reasons, this is still manageable. And this might take you a few attempts too, because if you have it too tight or too loose on either side, this won't give you a very safe fit. So just kind of take your time with it until you get this fully on. And the front side is going to be very similar. So we're just going to be pushing those blocks through that opening or channel. Now the difference here is that we're going to have that lever. Let's try to get this maybe a little bit tighter. Now that's about as tight as we can get it. And I'm just going to push on the lever itself and just put it right here. Sometimes you might have that little flag in your way. Just move it out and you can secure it right here. Once this is down, then I recommend giving it a little pull test, make sure it's nice and tight. There we go. This is feeling pretty good, but I'm still going to feel a little more comfortable if we have this rubber tensioner for the reasons I said earlier. And the way I'm going to put it on is going to be in the star pattern. When you're putting it on too, you want to make sure that these hooks are facing away from your tire, just so they don't puncture anything. And when all of them are on, we're going to give it another tug test to make sure everything's feeling good. And this is feeling a lot better, and it's going to give me more peace of mind too. Once this is done, then we're going to repeat this process on the other side. Then afterwards, I recommend either backing up or pulling forward just to make sure it feels pretty good. And if it does, you can take it out for a ride. But that's just a look at some of the features and the installation of the Glacier Chain tire chains on our 2024 Jeep Grand Wagoneer L. I'm Matt. Thanks for watching.